Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
2 people are hurt after an early morning shooting here in Clayton. An investigation at 2 different crime scenes. Just ahead, what we're learning from the police chief this morning.
And it looks to be a dry morning commute, but that will not be the case for the evening commute. I'll show you the hour-by-hour rain forecast coming up.
More travel troubles for people trying to fly out of RDU this morning. The ongoing problems Delta Airlines is facing as it tries to recover from the global tech outage. 5 days afterwards. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday. We do have a gorgeous sunrise. Look at this over downtown Raleigh to start your day. Thanks for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your routine here. So we get our Tuesday rolling. We know that hopefully the airports are going to clear up at some point from that trouble. We know the roads have cleared up from yesterday's travel trouble at this time. Amy Wilman is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with a pretty clear look right now.
That's right. This is not what it looked like yesterday morning at all. We had rain and storms for the morning commute. It's nice to see a quiet radar, but it's not going to stay that way. We have another round of showers and storms headed our way late this afternoon and this evening. Starting around 1 o'clock or so, we'll start to see some of those storms popping up on the radar. A better opportunity late this afternoon and through the evening commute with widespread showers and storms and perhaps some heavy downpours at times leading to some localized flooding. We don't have rain out there right now. This is a live look at Apex, and it just looks kind of steamy and muggy because that's how it feels outside. Temperatures are very warm and dew points are in the 70s, so very warm and sticky start. 77 in Clinton right now. It's 75 in Raleigh and Durham. Dog walking forecast for today. You're okay this morning. It's just going to be warm and muggy, but then later on this afternoon, you'll be dodging some of those showers and thunderstorms, Ken.
And Amy, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we just got a report of a crash in northern Wake County. This is at Falls of Noose Road in the southbound lanes near Old Wake Forest Road. Right now, our sensors are not picking up any issues on Falls of Noose Road, but if you live in that community, just look for some police activity if you're getting ready to head out this morning. We do want to bring your attention to this section of the Beltline. We always see it showing up purple early in the morning. That's just road construction. It's not really closed, but between Wade Avenue and Hillsborough Street, once you get past the Hillsborough Street exit, it's clear sailing, as you can see. But that should be clearing up very shortly now. Elsewhere around the Triangle, all the major roads, Durham, Chapel Hill, and the Triangle, delay-free at this hour.
So we've been following all morning. We have breaking news. We are covering police in Clayton are investigating after 2 people were shot there. WRAL's Laura Levine is on the scene there. This is on Pond Street, we can tell you. And Laura, this has actually been 2 scenes you've been bouncing back and forth reporting on this morning. Tell us what's happening now.
Yeah, Jeff, we were on East Joyner Street, which is only a block from here. Earlier this morning, that scene clear within the past hour. Behind me, though, here on Pond Street, you can see still a very active investigation. Officers gathering here in the middle of the road. We've seen some of them most recently taking photos. You can actually see, if we pan the camera to the driveway here, you may be able to see the flashes from the camera as they continue to take photographs of potential evidence in this situation. I want to point out what is very unique about this crime scene. When we normally respond to a shooting, right, we know that there are evidence markers that are typically all over the area. That is not what we're seeing. We do know 2 people were shot, according to Police Chief Gregory Tart. 1 person with non-life-threatening injuries, the other with life-threatening injuries. Again, we're not seeing a whole lot of evidence markers here or at the other location, but a lot of focus have been on the homes. We've seen crime scene tape wrapped around several homes in this area. Officers moving in and out some of these homes, walking, even weaving between some of the bushes. So a very active situation. I'm working to learn more of what could have caused or led up to this shooting, if you will. We did speak with neighbors on East Joyner Street. They were told by officers that there was no threat to the public. So at this time, we're also working to learn if police have anyone in custody. We're going to be here all morning working to gather those details. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Clayton.
It's another day of frustration for people trying to fly out of RDU. Flights are canceled and delayed for a 5th day in a row after that global tech outage on Friday. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from RDU right now. Kelsey, Delta is still experiencing a lot of issues related to the outage, and folks are beyond frustrated.
Renee, this has just been a headache for a lot of passengers, and you can see how much of a mess Delta has been recently because look at baggage claims. So all of these bags are here waiting for, passengers are waiting to get them right now, and they're trying to keep them organized as best as they can. So they are numbered based off of where they could be, what section they're in. But this has been an issue for travelers for several days now between weather delays and the aftermath of the global IT shortage. Airlines just can't catch up, and Delta has been hit the hardest. Delta canceled more than 4,600 flights Friday through Sunday. This from NBC News. We spoke with one traveler who was trying to get home to Florida from Italy. Their flight was canceled yesterday, and their next flight was not going to be scheduled until later today. They've been stuck at RDU for nearly 24 hours.
We're so tired. It's been a long day for us, going hotel by another hotel, and we're trying to get home, but we can't.
We reached out to Delta for clarification on whether people will qualify for certain vouchers and whether travelers can get reimbursed for their travel, or rather their meals and their hotel expenses. We're still waiting to hear back. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at RDU.
Part of I-95 North, just south of Fayetteville, is back open this morning after it was closed for hours because of this tractor-trailer crash. Here's the scene. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows that truck on its side right near NC 20. That's the exit there. The road reopened just after 5:30, and we are working to learn how this crash happened.
A driver is hurt after rolling his car over in southern Wake County. The crash happened around 12:30 this morning on Panther Lake Road. That's near Willow Spring. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows the car overturned in a driveway near Leando Drive. Troopers say the 21-year-old driver has minor injuries. We're working to find out what caused the rollover. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Kamala Harris's campaign has requested vetting materials from potential vice presidential nominees. Governor Roy Cooper is one of 6 on that list. Also on that list, Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona, Governors Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer, J.B. Pritzker, and Tim Walz. Governor Pritzker's office is denying that he's received any vetting materials. We're working to learn what Governor Cooper's office has to say about the report.
Harris's path to becoming the Democratic nominee for president is becoming much more clear. On her first full day in the race Monday, she secured enough backing of enough delegates to clinch that nomination. She also set a new record for campaign funding, bringing in $81 million in the first 24 hours after President Biden announced his withdrawal. Along with the money, the Harris team signed up 30,000 campaign volunteers. She has also received several high-profile endorsements, including Nancy Pelosi and Bill and Hillary Clinton. Harris's nomination is not yet a lock, but it is unclear whether anyone else will challenge her, let alone pose a real threat to her.
Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance is turning his attention toward Harris. Vance made a campaign stop yesterday in Radford, Virginia. He accused Democrats of being a threat to democracy, and he called Harris a million times worse than President Joe Biden.
The Biden record is the Kamala Harris record, and given what we know about Joe Biden, Kamala Harris probably did a lot more than Joe Biden does over the last 3.5 years.
Vance also spoke at his first solo rally in Ohio earlier yesterday.
Former President Donald Trump will make a stop in North Carolina tomorrow. Will be in Charlotte for a rally at Bojangles Coliseum. You can count on WRAL for coverage of that rally tomorrow. This morning, top North Carolina elections officials will testify under oath about recent decisions about third-party presidential candidates. Republican state lawmakers called them in for a hearing. They say the Democratic-controlled Elections Board blocked Cornel West from this year's ballot for politically motivated reasons. Elections officials, however, say there were numerous legal concerns surrounding West's attempt to get on the ballot. Testimony today could also focus on the board's actions surrounding RFK Jr.'s presidential campaign. You can get more information on what we're expecting from that hearing by visiting the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
Expect to hear loud blasts if you're in downtown Raleigh today. Construction crews will begin blasting underground rock to prepare for the new North Carolina Education Campus. It's scheduled to begin at 10:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. and runs until 2:30 p.m. Drivers can expect delays along Jones, McDowell, Salisbury, and Lane streets. Sidewalks will also be closed periodically. Blasting is expected to last for 3 months.
Good morning. I'm Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. Something I'm keeping my eye on this morning are the existing home sales report that's slated out today from the National Association of Realtors. Now, the last report we saw a decrease of sales of 0.7% here. But the thing is, WRAL actually reported back in May, which this number is for, is that the number of homes in the area were actually selling for more than $100,000 than the entire South region. Now, that report is slated out again this morning at 10 a.m. We'll be watching very closely to see what it actually looks like. And if you drive around at least Wake County, I can think of at least 10 properties in my neighborhood and an adjacent one that are for sale. So we're starting to see a lot more of those signs up. But in terms of what that actually looks like as a whole of the nation, we'll see that in about 4 hours.
10 after 6, just getting started. Here's what's ahead. The head of the Secret Service has testified about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, where she says the agency failed in its security efforts.
And police body camera video has been released after a woman was shot and killed in her own home in Illinois. This morning, we're hearing from her father. And meteorologist Amy Wilmoth tracking rain chances for later today.
All right, we still have that front over us that's been over us for days and days, but we have another cold front to the north on the way, and that one brings a drier trend. I'll show you when our rain chances start to go down coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Welcome back. This is a nice sight to see in Durham as the sun starts to rise. Boy, they got hit hard with rain yesterday. The sidewalks are still wet from all of the rain that they had yesterday, so it's nice to see some dry conditions for now. The morning commute's looking pretty good as far as the weather is concerned, but we still have this pesky front, and so we're going to have another round of showers and storms later on this afternoon and this evening. It's very warm and muggy this morning, 75 in Raleigh. It's the dew point's in the 70s as well, so it's very sticky as you step outside. Prepare for the humidity today. If you're exercising this morning, you don't have to worry about the rain or storms like you did yesterday. Those will happen later on this afternoon, this evening, but also later today. It's going to be pretty hot. We'll have a high of 91 with heat index values in the triple digits. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. A quiet start to your commute this morning, but we are working a crash this morning on Falls of Neuse Road in the southbound lanes near Old Wake Forest Road. We're not seeing any problems in that particular area, but just watch for some police activity. What was like to give you a traffic alert this morning, particularly if the Beltline is part of your morning commute. This area right now between Wade Avenue and Hillsborough Street, that's usually construction that's going on. It should clear up in a little bit, but once you get past the Hillsborough Street exit, not a problem to report. Elsewhere around the triangle, all the major routes are delay-free this morning. And Renee will have another update in about 10 minutes.
Sounds good, Ken. We have more news to tell you about. The Johnston County Sheriff's Office has identified a couple found dead inside their burning home. Deputies say they were called to a home on Scout Road yesterday morning to check on a man who lives there. Deputies say the house was on fire when they got there, and they found 33-year-old Kyle Trable and 39-year-old Mariah Woody inside. Both were shot to death. Investigators say they are not looking for a shooter. The two were in a relationship and they lived together.
An Illinois woman was shot and killed in her own home by a deputy after she called 911 to report an intruder. This happened July 6th, and this morning we're getting a look at that body camera footage right now. It's hard to watch. WRAL's Michelle McConaughey walks us through what happened here. Michelle, a lot of folks, including her family, want some answers.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. This morning we're hearing from Sonia Massey's father. He says the sheriff's deputy who killed his daughter is an embarrassment. Now, we're not going to show you the whole video, but we're going to walk you through what happened. In the early morning hours of July 6th, Sonia Massey called 911 about a possible intruder. You see her here. When two deputies showed up, they checked the area around her house. They then asked about an SUV that was parked in her driveway and enter her home. Massey moves to her stove where she picks up a pot of boiling water from a burner. The situation escalates after she moves the pot from the stove. Both deputies asked her to drop it. That's when she apologizes, and Deputy Sean Grayson fired 3 shots, killing her. Massey's father is outraged.
Because this man should have never had a badge. He should have never had a gun. He should have never been given the opportunity to kill my child.
And Grayson was fired from the department. He has also been indicted on charges of first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. He pleaded not guilty last week. President Biden saying in a statement they deserve justice, calling it an unthinkable and senseless loss.
The head of the Secret Service is taking responsibility for failed security in the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. In a House committee meeting, this hearing yesterday, Kimberly Cheadle said the roof where the shooter fired from was identified as a vulnerability days before the rally. She also said the agency had been told about a suspicious person 2 to 5 times before the shots were fired. She didn't share information on new reports that the gunman flew a drone over those grounds hours before the campaign event. So far, Cheadle has refused calls for her resignation. She instead says she is focused on the security needs of the DNC, the UN General Assembly, and the 2025 inauguration.
The new Amazon fulfillment center in Fayetteville is now open for business. Amazon says it started hiring employees last month. It was supposed to open in 2023. Amazon says job seekers can apply online. We have information on how to do that with this story on WRAL.com.
6:18 is the time right now, and Elizabeth Gardner is off. So Amy Wilmoth in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with a look at how much rainfall we have gotten. Just made July a pretty wet month here.
Right, we really did a pattern flip from what we had in June. June was very dry. This month has been very wet. Meteorologist Chris Michaels wrote up an article for us on why we had that pattern change. Pretty fascinating. Go to WRAL.com to take a read. But we've had a lot of rain at RDU this month, over 6.5 inches. That puts us over 3 inches above normal. Almost 7 inches in Fayetteville, over 3 inches above normal for them as well. Yesterday alone at RDU, we had 2.2 inches of rain. Nothing showing up on the radar here locally right now, but we'll have more rain and storms developing late this afternoon and this evening. Some pretty high rain chances during the evening commute and just after the evening commute. And then Wednesday, Thursday, looks like we're going to have this pattern continue. Even Friday, a 50% chance for storms. Saturday, that's when our rain chances start to drop, and we don't have storms in the forecast for Sunday. So there is an end to this stormy weather pattern. We just have to wait until the weekend. I'll look at how much rain we could get between now and Saturday. Anywhere from about 2 inches to maybe 3 inches of rain. So we do expect some localized flooding for today. We're in the medium risk, most of the area in the medium risk for flooding today. Tomorrow, it's the low end risk, and then Thursday back up to a medium risk, back to a low risk Friday, and then we don't expect flooding on Saturday. So about 4 more days to go of the potential for some heavy rain, and then the pattern starts to change. And it's all because a cold front is going to arrive, and it's going to usher in some drier air, and that is going to arrive just in time for the second half of the weekend into early next week. So the stormy pattern comes to an end. We just have to wait a while. 75 is the current temperature in Raleigh right now. This is a live look at the WRAL Gardens. Boy, it poured in the gardens yesterday. The dew point is in the low 70s, so it is very sticky outside, warm and muggy, and it's going to be a hot, steamy day today. High temperatures will be in the low 90s this afternoon everywhere. 91 in Raleigh, 93 for the high in Fayetteville. A big event happening this evening out at Kenan Stadium. The Manchester City taking on Celtic. It's going to be perhaps a little bit stormy at times, so just grab the poncho if you're headed to the game. Temperatures will be in the low 80s during the game. The stormy pattern again continues for the next several days, but the heat backs off a little bit for Thursday and Friday. Saturday, still an isolated storm, but Ken, it is nice to see that by the end of the weekend into next week, we see an end to this stormy pattern.
Looking forward to that weekend, Amy. Thanks. And it's you're looking forward to getting out this morning because it's relatively a quiet commute this morning. We do have this one crash to tell you about. It's on Falls of Noose Road near Old Wake Forest Road. We're not seeing any traffic issues in that area, but if you live in that area, you probably will see some police activity, so nothing really to worry about. What was like to let you know about this situation there on the Beltline this morning? Just about 10 minutes ago, this was purple, and I told you it's not a road closure. It's just road construction that will clear up. And what did it do? It cleared right up between Wade Avenue and Hillsborough Street. Nothing to worry about this morning. Elsewhere around the triangle, all the major routes are delay-free this morning. Of course, if you're listening to us on the radio, we do appreciate that. You can do the same when you're heading out at 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Ken, thanks. 2 huge names in European soccer will be in Chapel Hill tonight. What you need to know as fans are getting hyped up ahead of Man City and Celtic FC's match at Kenan Stadium.
And we're just days away from Deadpool and Wolverine hitting theaters. The fan theory that's emerging after the red carpet premiere, it's all coming up in What's Trending.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Stars Deadpool and Wolverine hit the red carpet, and fans have some theories before the movie hits theaters Friday.
Ken Smith here now with What's Trending. Ken.
Inquiring minds want to know Ryan Reynolds, Renee, and Hugh Jackman joined the film's other stars at the world premiere last night in New York. Now, a picture Blake Lively posted to Instagram is getting a lot of attention, too. It has fans speculating that she may be the mysterious Lady Deadpool.
Perhaps, or maybe she's just a supporting wife who's there visiting her husband on set and saying, hey, honey, did you have a good day? I'm going to give you a kiss. That's what it is, I think.
I'm going with the fans on this one. All right. You know, we've been talking about the Olympics in Paris. Well, Netflix has a new trailer for the long-awaited fourth season of Emily in Paris.
I guess I've just been so focused on Gabrielle and Alfie that I forgot what it feels like to be single.
Well, the new season will come out in 2 parts with 5 episodes each. The first 5 drops August 15th.
Yeah, we'll see what happens beyond the love triangle if they pick up some new themes in this. But I just think it's interesting, the timing of it all, because the Paris Olympics, and this is Emily in Paris.
Oh, yeah.
See how it rolls out.
Some marketing genius thought that one out.
Right. Was that Ryan Reynolds running past her? Face plant.
It's what you would have done if you saw him. They know that.
No, I'd be focused, laser focused on running. Cumberland County is opening cooling centers today to give you a place to cool off. County Department of Social Services and Department of Public Health lobbies will be available during normal business hours. You can also use any county library location to escape the heat. Parks and Rec centers and the Fayetteville Area System of Transit will be available as well.
They need one right now.
We're live on the scene of breaking news here in Clayton. You can see crime scene tape wrapping this neighborhood. 2 people shot and injured. I'll have an update coming up at 6:30.
And the stormy weather pattern continues today and for the next several days. It's also going to be hot and steamy today. I'll show you the hour-by-hour rain forecast for today coming up.
More than a dozen flights are already canceled this morning at RDU, where you are looking live right now. The widespread problems airlines are facing again today as they try to bounce back from last week's global tech outage.